Hey guys, it's Killshot here tonight with you. The clock that I showed you the other night is actually moving a little bit further back because we have a special guest on with us tonight. Somebody that you all know, I'm sure. She's on Twitter and she has a lot of stuff going on with local politics, which is the heart of where I want to be with everything that's going on. I'm so excited to have her. She's one of the first people that I met on Twitter. She helped me get started. She showed me some things and we just kind of became good friends. But this lady I want to talk to, and I want you to see what it's going to take to win this country back. And without further ado, Electra, you there?
I'm here.
All right. So tell the viewers a little bit about what you do when you grind with getting out there and getting candidates and being involved in local smaller races that they don't announce on TV and stuff. How do you do that?
Well, what I've done, Marco, is I went on Facebook, honestly, and I typed in my county, which I live in Cobbett County in Alabama, and I looked for or searched for the Cobbett County GOP. And sure enough, the page came up, and I followed it. And in looking in the members list, the guy that ran it, the GOP in my county, his name was there, so I followed him, and I sent him a message and told him that I was interested and would love to get to know more about the GOP party in my county, and I would like to become active. And within just 5 or 10 minutes, he messaged me back and set up a meeting. And so I went and met with him at a coffee shop, and we talked for about 2.5 hours. And I have to say it was the most enlightening conversation I've probably had in the last year. The things that he told me about the GOP party and about what they do locally and statewide and federally. He was very interested in my opinions and what I thought and wanted to know, how much I wanted to be involved. And I was intrigued. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was a week ago. And tomorrow we're going to have a thing going on in my little town that I live in. And our representative, Robert Adderholt, is going to be there tomorrow. So I'm going to get to meet him tomorrow and talk to him and find out, his views on some things. I'm hoping he'll want to know my views on some things. And I found out how our GOP party works. The local GOP actually vets candidates. In other words, they go out, if there's not a candidate that comes in and says, hey, I want to run for Board of Education, they'll go out and find a candidate, and they'll vet them and make sure they're a good candidate, and they get them certified and get their FEC papers filled out, and that's their job.
Electra, that's what a lot of that's like the same story. That's like the same thing that happened with me. I found this meeting. It was a small meeting. When Trump won, I was wanting to get involved. I didn't know where to start. And that's where I ran into Newt Gingrich, his longtime best friend who had a law firm out in Georgia for 30 years, has been in politics. He knows all this stuff. You meet the people there that you need to meet. I mean, and all it is, you said you did a Facebook follow and you just asked a question, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask you. That's what I want to get at. It is that simple. Okay.
Exactly.
It's not on Twitter, right? You're not going to go on Twitter and save the world, correct?
No. Twitter's a great place to go on and tell people about candidates.
Mm-hmm.
So is Facebook. So is Parler. But what I realized since the midterms is that no matter how much we do on Twitter, that's not helping what's going on in my state or my town.
Nope.
We have George Soros and other people like him and organizations like him that are trying to get these small seats like the Board of Education superintendent, the local. It doesn't matter if it's dog catcher; they want them.
And you know what? These positions, Electra, they're not announced on TV or radio.
No.
And they're in there with a room full of 6 people that they appoint these people to these positions.
Yep.
And that's how we found out how it works. Does it work the same way where you're at?
It does, Marco. I questioned our GOP leader when I went to their page, there was nothing on it about elections or candidates.
That's insane. Where's our money at?
I asked him, I said, why do y'all not tell us at least who our candidates are so that we could go and research them ourselves if we don't even know who's running for a judge or something like that? I said, how do we even know when we go to on election day, we see a bunch of names there running for offices that we have no clue who they are.
No.
I said, we're basically having to vote Republican or Democrat because you don't know who the people are. And he said, well, we can't put candidates on the page before the primary because we can't show favorites. And my question was after that, I said, well, why can't you show them all? If you show, hey, we've got 6 Republicans running for sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you're not showing favoritism if you tell people what their choices are. And then, of course, after the primary, you would want to come out on that GOP page and give the people that that won the primary.
Yeah.
And he agreed, and I don't know if he had ever thought about it or if they had ever thought about it, but it's the same way on our federal GOP. They don't do anything like that either. And I'm not bashing the GOP. I'm not bashing the chairwoman or the majority leader. I'm just saying that I don't understand why they're not more into letting people know what's going on, because 99% of the people in America are Republicans. They go to work every day, and they don't have time to go home and research. No. And the GOP party, if all they're doing is candidates and getting candidates for offices, then surely with $400-something million that they've raised, they could pay somebody a little bit to keep up a web page.
$469 million
that they've raised this year.
Yes, and that's and they didn't raise it. Trump raised it.
Right.
So he has this lady, same old swamp. I call it the same old swamp. Yep. SOS, because the same old swamp is in there. They're not letting us know. What is she doing with that money? She's tweeting about the same old shit we hear about on Fox News. Like she's not even putting, there's no people up there. It's like they're hiding these people because this is what they've been doing to us for years. Sneaking these people in these positions. Look at these Muslims, man. They're taking over these states with just getting appointed to the position.
Yes, and most people in the county don't even know that a Muslim is running for the office.
Nope. It's not announced. You have to go actually dig to find this stuff out. You got to go to like your city hall, your city council. Like you said, look up your local GOP. It's not that hard, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I mean. People are out here talking about how we're going to go to civil war, and they're ready to go to civil war and pack up their guns and ready to fight for their men. But they can't even. You can't do it that way. There's ways that you could do it. You can't be on Twitter ready to go out with your AR-15 and start a civil war. That just ain't going to happen.
Well, the GOP guy here told me that when they first started the GOP meetings in the county, they wouldn't have the 10 or 15 people show up.
That's it. That's all that shows up.
He said now that the last meeting, I think they might have had 50, which is okay. But when you're talking about a whole county,
mm-hmm.
I mean, and especially in the time that we're living in. I mean, you look at Virginia, they're talking about making the gun-free zones up there around the state capitol. Look at the mess going on there.
It is a mess.
And then people can't even be interested enough to go to an hour meeting where they discuss what they're going to do.
Once a month.
Democrats that are running, how they're going to try to beat that. Once
a month. Those meetings are once a month, exactly. By the way. Once a month for 2 hours, maybe an hour.
Right.
I mean, but this is where you're going to get informed, not on Twitter, because Twitter's like a federal it's like a whole world thing.
Yes.
And Twitter has the control. You're going to get this when you go to those meetings and you get those flyers and you talk, you're going to meet the nicest people because the GOP people are the nicest people. And they're going to tell you everything, what you got to do. And it's not that hard. Like we have to every politics starts locally, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what, that's what I love about you. And that's why I gravitated towards you because you had this sting, man. Like you got me to donate on some GOP in Alabama and somebody up in Michigan. I forget who it was, but I was giving my money because you were working your ass off.
Well, Marco, most people don't realize this, but we see what AOC did. We see what Justin did. Mm-hmm. And I'm down here in Alabama, and they're up there in the north. But you know what? I was smart enough to realize that, hey, somebody's got to take that job away from AOC, because look how she has affected everybody's life this past year.
It's not a damn shame.
There in New York, she affects everybody in this country. So if we can get a good candidate in there running, which we have several, and we can donate to, if it's $20, it doesn't matter.
Dude, if it's $10, I mean, if it's $5.
It doesn't matter. But the thing is that we should be, in Alabama, we're mostly red. We're pretty safe as far as our state government goes.
Yeah.
We've got that Doug Jones that we've got to get beat out this time. But other than him, people in Alabama should have $10 they could send to the candidate running against somebody like AOC, or a candidate running against Nancy Pelosi, or those big seats that we want to control. And, Marco, I've got candidates in my group, and I swear, on social media, it was such a disappointment for the people that were not given anything. They weren't giving them $5.
No, they weren't.
No, the candidates are not, and they should be able to make money off of social media, because it's the only free thing they have to use.
Hey, what if me and you started a GoFundMe, instead of giving it to the GOP, we just built up a bunch of money and started giving it to candidates in these races? Could you do something like that?
No, there's FEC rules. You would have to have a 501c, or you can only, an individual can only donate. I think it's $5,600 to one candidate.
Well,
in a whole election.
How the hell does Bloomberg how can he spend $1 billion on himself? How is that fair and run anti-Trump? Isn't there a cap on what these people can spend?
No, there is nothing fair about politics.
Man, well, you're changing the game, I have to tell you, because if we could get one or two people from each county, it'll be like a fire. You start a little kindle and it starts going. But if we could get one or two people fired up enough to go down and start getting involved with this, I think it'll take off. Yeah. I mean, I really do. Because it's not that hard. And as far as like people like AOC's concerned, as far as she's concerned, all you should do with that, and this is my opinion, instead of spending a bunch of money on a Republican running against her and putting up all this money, you ain't going to win. Just get a dyno. I created a new thing called a dyno, a Democrat in name only. So you get a dyno to primary these people because they're just walking into these positions. Anybody that runs against them is going to win. If you just say one thing, hey, I'm for this and that, and just play the part, and you just primary them. You spend $1,000 and you'll beat them.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel. I don't like a dino or a rhino.
I know the ones, they're going to kill us, man.
I don't like those rhinos either, and I'm going to tell you something, I have a lot of them right now.
Oh, my God. What about Matt Gaetz? Can you believe that shit?
No.
He committed political suicide.
No, I don't have any comment on Matt Gaetz either. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest with you.
Electra, when I first saw that happen, I didn't believe, like, it just totally, I watched it happen and I saw it live, but I just put the phone down like nothing happened. I drove to my house 20 minutes and I was like, did he just vote with the Democrats? Like, it was so stunning that he did that. And he's out there, like, toting, like, it's okay, it's okay. It's not okay. That's a rhino.
Well, Marco, one thing I want to say, let's talk about Virginia for just a minute.
Okay.
Because in talking about the GOP, I was very confused when Virginia had their last election, and they had so many seats that didn't even have a Republican candidate running.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't stand it. When you don't even put an opponent up there, you might as well, why have an election? Just give it to the Democrat. Why spend the money for the election? That makes no sense. But look now what's happened in Virginia. Now that they've got all those Democrats up there, now they're trying to mess with their Second Amendment rights. And my question goes back to, where was the GOP?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I don't know whether I should be questioning the county GOP or the state GOP or the federal GOP. I mean, you've got three different groups right there that all three failed the people of Virginia, the Republicans.
I mean, it's deep state. Listen, both sides are funded deep state, both. I mean, there's Republicans funded.
Where was the one person screaming, "Oh my gosh, y'all, look, we have 30 seats here that we don't have a candidate even running in." But we didn't find that out until the day of the election.
Wow.
I mean, it almost, and I don't want to accuse anyone, but you kind of feel like once you go through a day like that, you think, wow, we set up?
Mm-hmm.
Were we set up to fail?
Yep. You know, that's what happened with the House. They had like that, you know how they blackmail people? They literally 42 people walked into those positions unopposed for the House. They had that all set up.
Yes. Well, my next question is what about all these people that are retiring in the Republican Party?
Oh my God, I know. How many's retiring? How many?
Oh gosh, there's probably 30 or more. Right around 30, if I had to guess right off the top of my head right now. But up until a few weeks ago, and I'd have to go back and check again, but at the time, those seats didn't even have anybody to come in and run in them.
Wow.
Now, I'm hoping that's not the case right this minute, but at that time, when we went and looked, they didn't even have a candidate that was stepping up to run in their place.
And you know what? They do this shit sneakily throughout the time till the next election. They start having these elections that are real sneaky, real quiet. Like the ones that you said are coming up. Where'd you say they're coming up? California and Texas?
Oh, California, Texas, Alabama, Illinois, Michigan.
When are those elections?
The first ones, there's 8 of them are on March the 3rd.
8?
And then, yes, 8 states have primaries on March the 3rd. And then some more states have them on March the 17th. And then they'll be sporadic from March, all the way up until the general.
Okay, so what's your plan? How are we going to be able to help each other? And what would you suggest that we tell the viewers and people that are listening? What do you suggest we do? How should we do this?
Because the first thing you need to do is contact their local GOP.
Okay.
Contacted and involved.
Okay.
Just because you become involved does not mean that you have to go out and knock doors. It doesn't mean you have to make phone calls. It doesn't mean you have to do anything except go to that monthly meeting. And what happens at that monthly meeting is that's where you get to say, hey, I think, and then tell what you think. Tell what your opinion is, because you are a voter. Yeah. And they want to know what you feel, and you want to be heard. So the first thing you do is you go to those meetings, you hear what they've got to say, you tell them what you think, and then you decide, how can I do more, if you want to do more. But the best thing, what I see right now, Marco, is that people are just not informed. Mm-hmm. There is not any information that is being spread anywhere that is concentrated enough for people to, like, it's not on Facebook. It's not on Twitter. You see President Trump and you see Republican stuff everywhere, but it's not stuff that is going to change anything. No, it's not. You're exactly right. Big thing about be a difference maker. If you want the world to be different, you've got to be part of what changes. Yeah. You got to get off the bus if you don't want to do it, or get on the bus and let's go. I mean, I talked to a couple candidates that I got in our homepage, the news now. There's like a couple from Ohio, and there's a congressman or a manager. He knows you. We talked about you a little bit the other day. He said he wants to hear this show, but he said that they're doing nothing. They're putting the same people in there, and the GOP is not helping. And why? My question is why? Why? That's a good question. Why? And it's like, these people, they've been doing this electorate for how many years now, this deep state shit? A long time. I mean, it's almost 3 years out, and it's been as long as I can remember. So, but here's the good news.
if Trump wouldn't have won, we would have been screwed. We would have been done. It would have been horrible.
Yeah.
But
we would already be a socialist country.
So now maybe if we can start this for the future elections, for our kids' elections, and for people, we could start getting involved with this. We're not out of time because Trump went and definitely changed the scent in the air.
No, we are not out of time.
No.
And let me tell you something. The biggest thing that we have to our advantage is social media as far as spreading info. If people would just use their social media to spread something that's important, not what is in the mainstream media, because we already see that every day. We see the same story 1,000 different times.
Yep.
You know, instead of spreading that, spread who your candidates are for your state. People on Twitter, if they would use their state and district hashtag for their information, then everybody could go to that hashtag. Like mine would be Alabama 07. I could type in hashtag AL07 and find out what every representative that I have is saying. I can find out where my fundraisers are. I can find out where my rallies are. You know, if people would just use it like it should be used. Facebook, you can target your districts. All you got to do is try. And
you know what? There ain't shit we could do about Epstein eating babies and them being lizard people and throwing shit off. What can we do about that? Nothing. So the energy, I see what you're saying. The energy wasted is it's like you could put it to use by your state's hashtag. You said that, right?
Yes, and don't you honestly think that some of the stuff that we have seen in the last 2 years is so outrageous that it's comical?
Comical.
When you see some of it, you think, okay, well, what's really going on? Because this is so crazy. This has got to be something they're trying to distract me with.
Yeah, it is. They want everybody on Twitter digging and doing all this shit that nobody could do nothing about.
And you know what I found out? One of the things that was going on was George Soros was buying out all of the district attorneys.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to get the district attorneys to be Democrat. Why? Because they want to take, you know, what happens when you have a DA that's a Democrat? Now we're on the local level.
Yeah.
He's after those local seats, just like you said. They're trying to get in our cities and in our towns and take these local seats. And then if you can control the country locally, what does it matter what happens federally?
Doesn't.
It
makes no difference.
Exactly.
Like, none at all. Like, it's...
People have got to quit watching The Shiny Nickel. Because, I mean, seriously, that's what all that is. You know, the impeachment thing and the Epstein thing. And, I mean, it's just all so outrageous that you know when you see it, it's just them flipping a shiny nickel, trying to get your attention off of what's really going on.
Right. I can't do nothing about underground lizard people that cut babies up. I just can't. There's nothing I can do about that. I mean, it's just Trump is kind of like hinting to us that this is what we got to do, this approach right here.
Yes.
I mean, Trump's going to win. There's no doubt about it. Whether they're not going to get to him, he's way ahead of the game. He's always 5 steps ahead. He's never going to falter. So let Trump be Trump, and let's start helping him locally.
Yes, you know, Trump, I don't believe that Trump can get on Twitter or on the TV and go bad toward the GOP. Even if he thinks it, I don't think he can come out against him. But if we bring it up, if we draw attention to it, and I'm not talking about firing anybody, I'm just saying if we draw attention to the GOP that they need to do more, then he can say, well, you know what, these people, they're hounding me, they want y'all to do more, can we not do better?
Yeah.
Then it's us doing it instead of our president.
Yeah. That's exactly right. We the people.
We the people are demanding better.
You know, I'm going to tell you a true story. This is a true story. I started this on the first couple intro videos. The roads, I just got a Jeep Wrangler, right? The roads were treacherous. I mean, they were horrible. I called Ron DeSantis' office on a Monday, okay? I didn't know who else to call. The lady was super nice. Nobody calls these people, too. Their lines are wide open. I've had 100% success rate with these people because they don't want you to know to call. So I called his office. I said, ma'am, if we can't fix these roads, how are we going to save the country? I don't understand it. US 1 just tore my Jeep up in this spot on the highway. She said, "Oh, well, you got to call DOT." I said, I don't have time. I just want to let y'all know as a voter, possibly I'm thinking of, in the future running for something, but I just can't fathom the thought that these roads, I've been in Florida for 12 years and they're getting worse and they're not paved. She said, "Well, can I call you back?" I said, "Yeah." So I thought it was a lost cause. I said, "Oh, she ain't gonna call back." The next morning at 9:02, she called and she said, "Where's those spots at again?" I said, "All of US 1, and it's between exit 318 and 305. It's horrible, right?"
Yes.
I thought that was the end of it. She said, "Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm glad you called and brought it to our attention." This is a God's honest, true story. You could ask my family, anybody. Not even, it was like a week later, right? I'm driving home from my mom's house in Flagler Beach. They had a damn road crew out there. They covered the roads, and they did all of US 1. They paved it. I'll take a video of it. The whole US 1 is paved.
I believe you.
Because that's what it takes. These people will respond if you just call.
Yes, and you know what? You don't have to call and be irate. You
No.
don't have to be ugly.
No.
You just say, look, just like you did, just say, "Look, I'm a voter, and I live in your district, and I've got a problem, and I need your help." And give them the opportunity to do the right thing before you go off on them.
Yeah.
I've contacted my Robert Adderhope's office several times, and they always contact me back. They started sending me things in the mail telling me what they're doing in our district, and I've had nothing but great results with them.
It's phenomenal. And if we could get more people to start doing this and just picking up the phone instead of being on, Twitter groups, we can actually make a change. I mean, you and I, we're on. We see it. We could see it. Now we just got to expand and help other people to see it. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm so glad you came on. I'm so glad we talked.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, Marco, and I'm very happy to hear that you're interested in getting local with your GOP too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be taking over the Young Republicans here soon.
You know what? That is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
Getting our children involved.
Yeah, I'm in college. I'm back in college. God put me back in college. The military put me back when I had my surgeries. I get to wake up a bunch of young people every day, and they're so receptive to it. Like, I got these girls and guys coming up to me after my media class going, "You're Mark, right? You're Marco, right? Yeah, you're great in class." Because this teacher said, "Oh, the country's so divided." I said, "Ma'am, it's really not." And she said, what do you mean? How? I said, "It's only the oligopolies that you're teaching us about, the 3 or 4 major companies that own all the news and stuff, that's making you think that we're 50-50. I said, we're really not 50-50. We're about 80-20. There's more love going around than you know it. Like, there's a lot of people happy in a lot of places because guess why? They're either working or their 401ks through the roof.
Yes.
So they're happy. People are happy. They ain't watching this impeachment shit. They're not getting distracted with it. They're like, "Oh God, again."
Yeah, that shiny nickel's the shine is wearing off of that, and people are just sick of it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's sickening.
It is sickening. It is sickening. So here's what we'll do. We'll stay in touch. I want to tell the viewers bye, but just stay on the phone so you and I could chat a little bit. Okay, guys, that was Electra. Phenomenal person. You heard everything that she has to say. You heard how to do it. Just please do it. Let's start getting on this. And I know it was a little bit longer of a show, but you know what? The rest of them are long, and they're finding babies on Mars. So I just want to tell the viewers bye. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And God bless President Donald Trump.